Hey guys, welcome back. Randy Wells here at Lunker Junkies TV and Fish Sword Alaska and OregonFishingAdventure.com. Thanks so much for joining in this week. I've got a great episode out of Seward, Alaska, chasing some big halibut. Got some good how-to techniques and that type of thing coming up. So here's a word from the sponsors, but we'll be right back. And I'm going to show you some great rod bending, some reel streaming, and a hoot of a good time. We'll see you soon.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah! Get him! Oh, huge!
Lunker Junkies is brought to you by Bi-Mart, your one stop for the best deals around on top quality gear. Procure Bait Sense, ruthlessly effective. If you want your rod bent, you gotta apply the scent. Shasta Tackle, inventor of the sling blade, luring you to the best of fishing. Reel Tech, don't throw those broken reels aside, send them to the Reel Tech. And Brad's Killer Fishing Gear, so enticing, fish cannot resist them. Hey, before you head out on your next fishing trip, or any outdoor activity for that matter, don't forget to swing by your local Bi-Mart. You'll find the best deals around on all that top quality gear that you need to get out there and have a good time. Your Procure products, your Brad's plugs, your hooks, your line, your terminal tackle, all that stuff you need to have a more successful trip. But whether your activities are hunting, camping, fishing, hiking, Bi-Mart's got the products you need. Best prices in town. That's why every Lunker Junkies adventure starts at Bi-Mart. Shasta Tackle. Unlike the old salmon attractors and baits that spin in a rhythm, the Shasta Tackle sling blades and wiggle hoochie's erratic behavior trigger salmon to crash on it out of instinct. And for you trout and kokanee anglers, check out the full line of Shasta Tackle lake trolling gear. Tackle used to catch a world record kokanee over 9 pounds.
Dang, you're tagged out.
Make sure you have the Shasta Tackle advantage in your arsenal the next time you hit the water. If you're looking for a great guided fishing trip here in Oregon, be sure and give Randy Wells a call with Oregon Fishing Adventure. Starting in October, we will be offering some great deals, like 4 seats for the price of 3 on the Chetco Bubble Fishery and the Upper Klamath. Full and half-day trips available. A beautiful day on the water you won't soon forget. Look him up at OregonFishingAdventure.com or give him a call at 907-947-3349.
Hey guys, Randy Wells here, Lunker Junkies TV and FishSwordAlaska.com. We're doing a little trophy halibut fishing today, and we hope that you're going to be real excited and learn some stuff. I'm sure we're going to get some really nice fish. We've got good current right now. We've got calm seas, 0 wind. It should be a good day. I'm just pulling up off the south tip of Montague, which is fishing the Cape Clear area. And I'm just going to go over with you real fast how important it is to place your anchor correctly. One thing I was told when I first started chartering, it's not so much about setting your boat on the exact GPS numbers where you caught fish before. It's more about positioning your boat so that your scent goes to whatever is down there, whatever structure's down there that holds fish. For example, let's say you got a big mound down there that holds fish. Well, it doesn't do you any good to set your anchor on top of that mound if you've got a strong current, because your scent is going away from the mound. So instead of doing that, you're going to position your boat so that your stern is facing the mound, say 300 to 400 feet away, depending on the amount of current that you have. That way your scent trail is going to go to the mound or the rock pile or the drop off. and bring the fish to your boat. Another thing that's important is that if your boat swings with a tide, which it should, because you should be sitting through at least one tide cycle for your best opportunity of fishing. So when your boat swings through the tide, it may reposition you to where you're no longer facing the mound. So throughout any given hog hunting trip, when I'm out at Montague or anywhere else chasing big fish, I'm always looking at my chart plotter, paying attention to where I'm sitting, paying attention to where my stern is pointing, and more often than not, halfway through the day, I'll have to pull my anchor and maybe move 500 feet or 1,000 feet and reposition my boat so that my scent trail is heading in the direction where those fish are sitting. Let's take a look at the chart plotter right here. I'm getting ready to pull up on this mound right now, and I'm just going to kind of give you the idea. I've got my chart plotter split so you can see the chart on one side, the sonar on the other. I'm going to give you an idea on how I would actually position my boat out here. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so we're pulling up on what you can tell. I've got mounds here, mound 1, mound 2, and then if you look up here, you can actually see a bunch of what I would call dates. Anytime I get a fish over 100 pounds, I put the date in and maybe the person's name to remind me of that great trip, but also to remind me of where the boat was positioned when I'm catching fish. So as you can see, the mounds that I'm fishing are here, right? But my current, this is north, up here is north, and when I fish here, I like to fish these mounds when the current's flowing south. So if you're at Cape Clear, that would be on an outgoing tide. So just because the boat is positioned here, if you're fishing it on an incoming tide, you're going to be missing these mounds, and you would want to fish more down here so that your scent trail is going to these mounds where these fish are holding. Whereas most of the time when I'm out here at this particular spot, I like to fish it on an outgoing tide, and therefore my scent would be coming this way. Here on the sounder, you can see that it's kind of a rougher terrain, but there's plenty of bait piled up down here. I've already drifted off of one mound, but a key feature with your sonar is definitely to pay attention to the depth of and the height of the structure that you're fishing. So I'm currently at 125 feet. You can see here at 122 feet is the tallest point, and there's some shallower points here. And actually these two mounds, if I wasn't already past them, they're about a 40-foot mound. Also, you can see some kelp in here. That's going to be holding a bunch of bait fish around it. So again, it's very important to position your anchor correctly when you're targeting big fish. Everybody can catch big fish, but if you want to consistently do it, it's all about position. Okay, so I just went over the sonar and the chart plotter with you and the importance of your anchoring position with the boat. Now I'm sitting out here off of Cape Clear, and I'm just going to go over a little bit of the tackle and the style that I'm using. Okay, so I highly recommend that you invest in a quality reel. I like the Accurate Boss Extreme reel, dual dog pound gears with the lever drag. The lever drag when you're trophy halibut fishing is extremely important because you can easily back the drag off so that, let's say you're fishing a big carcass or a whole pink salmon or a salmon head or a triple stack of herring. Those big fish, you got to really get those big baits down into their stomach. So with a lever drag, you can back the drag down, and so that they can chew, and we don't touch this drag or touch the rod till the fish is peeling out line. When he starts to peel out line, you know you've got him, and then you can move the lever up into strike, stop that fish, reel 3 or 4 times, set the circle hook, and you'll have much better success with doing that. Now here I've got my standard carcass setup. I'm using 300-pound P-line mono. I've got a corkscrew swivel, and my weight is on a slider, as you can see here. Then I come down to a 20-aught circle hook, right? Now some guys will take and connect this stinger hook to the eye of the circle hook. I personally don't get the best action of the salmon that I like, so I actually connect my mono to the shank of the hook. It's a circle hook and it's barbed. It's not going anywhere. And then I'll drop it down to a stinger shark hook like so. I make it about the length of your salmon carcass. If your salmon carcass is shorter, you know, you're going to thread this through the carcass a couple times and make sure this is sticking out the back. I stopped harpooning fish a few years ago because of my back, and I was told about a flying gaff. I love the flying gaff. I've actually minimized it even more than that. I just use an oversized shark hook, connect it to some rope, and then what I do is when the fish is coming up, I can tie this to the rail. Now I put a few knots in it so that the rope won't slip, And then my deckhand is ready with the shark hook. I'm ready with the shotgun. When the fish comes up, I can shoot him, gaff him with this hook. Then he's on a rope, he's hooked through the face, in the jaw, he's not going anywhere. I've had the harpoon rip out a few different times, and I just don't like wounding big fish and, you know, not getting them to the boat. So hopefully you'll get to see this today. Also, you hear guys talk about shooting halibut, and oh, he's got to be over 150 pounds, oh, he's got to be over 200 pounds before I'll use a shotgun. Well, I tell you what, those big 50-pounders and anything bigger than that, they're dangerous on the deck. Plus, you have a good opportunity to lose them, whether you shark hook them or you harpoon them or you gaff them. I've seen fish roll off. So I highly recommend using a single shot snake charmer. I use a 410 shotgun shell with a slug in it. Man, it calms them right down. As long as you don't pull that fish's head out of the water, he's gonna lay there, he's gonna be mellow. You've got one guy puts the shotgun to the head, boom, right between the eyes, and then instantly the next guy's there with the shark hook to hook him in the jaw and bring him on the boat, completely subdued. You don't have to worry about him making a mess on the boat, and it's just a whole lot more success that way, and then you can get those lines back in the water. Now let's see if we can't catch some fish. Stay tuned. Thanks very much. Remember, every episode of Lunker Junkies starts with By Mark.
Hey, before you head out on your next fishing trip or any outdoor activity for that matter, don't forget to swing by your local By Mark. You'll find the best deals around on all that top quality gear that you need to get out there and have a good time. Your Pro-Cure products, your Brad's plugs, your hooks, your line, your terminal tackle, all that stuff you need to have a more successful trip. But whether your activities are hunting, camping, fishing, hiking, By Mark's got the products you need, best prices in town. That's why every Lunker Junkies adventure starts at By Mark. Shasta Tackle. Unlike the old salmon attractors and baits that spin in a rhythm, the Shasta Tackle sling blades and wiggle hoochie's erratic behavior trigger salmon to crash on it out of instinct. And for you trout and kokanee anglers, check out the full line of Shasta Tackle lake trolling gear. Tackle used to catch a world record kokanee over 9 pounds.
Dang, you're tagged out.
Make sure you have the Shasta Tackle advantage in your arsenal the next time you hit the water.
Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. I want to be able to see his head.
That is a nice fish.
Right back to the bottom.
Oh man, that's a nice fish. Okay, let me see his. Yeah.
I'm having fun watching. I know.
Those front eyes are kind of turning.
Go to me again.
Off?
Hold on, buddy. Let's go.
I got color right there.
Nice halibut. All right.
Okay.
It's all about the money shot. Oh, he's hooked up on another line. There's another line down there. Get ready, Logan. Get him in, get him in, get him in, get him in. Yeah! Nice. Get him under the rail. Get him under the rail. Oh! Get him under the rail.
All right. It's my biggest halibut rod.
Nice.
Got him on a jig. 120 foot of water. There's a bite on that rod right there. Probably 70 pounder though. Nice fish.
So we're fishing out of Prince William Sound, as we told you guys earlier. And out here, east of Cape Fairfield, we're allowed to use pink salmon for bait. So what we've done here is thrown out a spinner while we're halibut fishing to try and get some fresh pink. It does go against your salmon quota, so be sure not to keep, it has to be recorded as part of your limit. We're gonna go ahead and net this fish and get it on the hook and use it for halibut bait. So we just told you about using pinks for bait, and it's early in the season, and normally we're full of pinks, but this is not a pink. This is a really nice silver for early season.
Nice.
Yeah,
fish.
that is great. That's gonna go good on the barbecuer. And if you haven't tried these spinners yet, I highly recommend check out Tony Davis at Kodiak Custom Tackle. He does an excellent job with these handmade spinners out of Kodiak. Each one of them's handmade at his shop there in Kodiak. So this is my friend Mark here, and we've been doing pretty good jigging. There is a special way to put the jig on, and Mark's going to explain that to you here.
Well, you want to put it on so the tail is up. If you put it on as a tail, it has a tendency to wrap around or get caught into the hook. So be sure to put it on up and just thread it on.
That's a halibut. That's a big butt.
We've got...
With the tail up.
Oh,
Whoa! Whoa!
So we just rigged up another jig, as you guys saw. You saw Mark demo it out for you. We tipped it with some octopus and some ProCure octopus gel. He was playing with it, playing with it. This is a big fish. It's taken line a bunch of times.
We move these rods.
Coming around the other side of the boat.
It's important that when you hook a big fish, you get all the lines out of the water. You know, being on a charter for 8 years now, I can't tell you how horrible of a feeling it is to lose a big halibut because you got your lines down. As soon as you got a fish that's taking line, definitely get the rest of your rods out of the water.
Go ahead and step.
Oh, he's a good one.
Oh, that guy is huge.
Where you?
There he goes. Woo, he saw the brogue.
Oh, he's going. Take a line.
Watch that roller guide, Mark.
It's still good right now.
Okay,
Okay, go and winch him up here.
you're right.
Okay, nice and easy, nice and easy, nice and easy.
Don't pull his head out of the water.
Oh shit.
Okay, just Can I give you this, Bob?
I can't.
Just pulling it.
You get a good hook? Nice.
there you go.
He's quiet.
The reason why we use the 410, and another reason instead of the harpoon, it's a rodeo. Yes, it's a lot of fun, but if you want to really get that fish in the boat and get your lines back in the water, all you got to do is shoot him, shark hook him, it's over.
Nice fish, Mark.
I was going to throw him back. Not.
That's nice.
Another quality halibut.
That fish gets
You can see that this TLD is a graphite framed, graphite side plate reel. Your Accurates, your Avids, a lot of Shimano's, they're made out of machined aluminum. The salt environment is very harsh on aluminum. What you have is steel bearings pushed inside of an aluminum pocket, and that salt will react with the steel and the aluminum, causing it to corrode, and to the point that they can't be removed anymore. And even if you could pop them out, you're going to take some of the frame and the integrity of everything away out of the reel also. For guys that fish a lot in salt water and doing minimal maintenance, or they can't get around to have someone get in there and lubricate everything and treat everything, these graphite framed reels, even though this bearing here is shot, you know, the tighter I set this preset, the more the handle does not want to turn. That bearing is completely shot and corroded, but I know it's sitting in a graphite pocket and I can get that bearing out of there regardless. A lot more maintenance-friendly reels are the ones that are graphite like this. The spool is aluminum and has 3 bearings in there also, but they are set back deep enough that corrosion and salt does not get in there as much as it does in this one. So just something to keep in mind. Preventative maintenance on your saltwater reels. Have a plan, get them to a guy like me every 6 months, twice a year, whatever it is, after your long season of saltwater fishing. Let me get into them. It'll minimize your cost of parts replacement and prolong the life of your reel. tackles. Salt water does corrode and pit aluminum, and once that does that, you can clean the corrosion off, but your pitting remains. So the more you can get these things in to be serviced, the longer they're going to last you.
If you're looking for a great guided fishing trip here in Oregon, be sure and give Randy Wells a call with Oregon Fishing Adventure. Starting in October, we will be offering some great deals, like 4 seats for the price of 3 on the Chetco Bubble Fishery and the Upper Klamath. Full and half-day trips available. A beautiful day on the water you won't soon forget. Look him up at OregonFishingAdventure.com or give him a call at 907-947-3349. Shasta Tackle. Unlike the old salmon attractors and baits that spin in a rhythm, the Shasta Tackle sling blades and wiggle hoochie's erratic behavior trigger salmon to crash on it out of instinct. And for you trout and kokanee anglers, check out the full line of Shasta Tackle lake trolling gear. Tackle used to catch a world record kokanee over 9 pounds. Hey, you're tagged out. Make sure you have the Shasta Tackle advantage in your arsenal the next time you hit the water.
So Doug just rigged up a bait rig with a piece of herring and a little chunk of octopus. Got a good head shaker. Just peeling out line to start with. We got color. That's a nice fish.
Oh yeah. Good time, buddy. Stay down, Ed. Okay, here he comes. Right over. There you go, Mark.
Nice fish.
Another quality halibut.
Nice job, Doug.
In the box. Fly Bob stuck his fly rod down in there with one of his custom tied flies.
Right back to the bottom.
Fly Bob comes out with me on a regular basis. You'll see pictures of him on fishtowardalaska.com. He's gotten 2 of them right at 100 pounds over the last couple of years. And
As long as it weighs in a tray or on a bench.
we're always feeling very grateful when he comes out and fishes with us.
I'm guessing he's probably around 40. Just by the way he fights. But he might be bigger. $35, $40, maybe 45. I don't know. That's 290s. Took me forever to land.
I got that shark hook right there.
I'm getting out of the way. He's not a shooter, but for a fly rod, that is a great butt right there.
Oh yeah, nice fish.
I need that rod.
Okay, this time everybody else was catching fish on a jig. Here I got myself a small halibut on a piece of octopus with a piece of herring on there. Maybe under 29 fish for the day. Notice that the herring come off and the octopus stayed on.
You go, wait.
Out of Seward, you're allowed 2 halibut on a charter boat, but one has to be under 29 inches and one can be any size.
With my octopus, right down that hole.
Right down the hole.
So you got to have a measuring tape on the boat.
No, this is close.
You close the mouth and measure it to the end of the tail.
Exactly 29.
You can't get any closer than that.
Nope. Exactly. Perfect.
Perfect.
Which is good because Doug already got his oversized fish.
So the tide just slowed down a little bit for us, quite a bit actually, so we're going to send a chum bomb down. When the tide's slackened up, the chum will stay underneath the boat a little better. If it's running too hard, it gets swept away too fast, so slowing down. So we'll get some down there and try to call them in. And going to use some chopped up herring and a little squid oil also. Water soluble squid oil. So to send this chum bomb down there, we're going to use the same jig that we've been fishing halibut with all day. I'm going to stick it in the chum bomb bag. Pierce the bag with the hook and tie it shut around the line. That way we can get the garbage back out of the water after the chum falls out of it. So a lot of other guys will also use a chum bomb on their anchor line, but what we're trying to do is call them to the back of the boat where our rods are at. We don't want them going any further than where we're fishing at. And the chum bag also, it just lets out scent. It doesn't actually let out the bait like we're about to do here. This will be a bunch of individual pieces down there. When I send it down, this bag will rip open and everything will dump out of it. Just hit the bottom with this chum bomb.
That's where the big halibut are, is that?
Give it a few jerks, get that bag ripped open. Okay, so I sent it down to the bottom, ripped it up and down a couple times, and tore that bag open, and all that chum falls out of it. You can reel it up, and the bag will still be on it. Like that.
Hey guys, what'd you think of that? Was that awesome or what, huh? We had a banner time, banner fishing, great products, great fish, and a lot of laughs. The next time you're in Seward, Alaska, there's a couple places to check out as far as lodging goes. The Marina Motel and the Murphy's Inn. They're both right inside of town. They're both great customer service. I've had a lot of success with this place. I've never had any complaints whatsoever. If you have any questions whatsoever, check me out on fishstewardalaska.com, or you can contact the Marina Motel and Murphy's Inn direct on their websites. We'll see you next week here on Lunker Junkies TV. I happen to know for a fact I've got some great episodes coming up out of here out of Seward, Alaska. Keep your line tight, your tip up, and we'll see you soon.
Born to be fishermen, we were born to be fishermen, so come along with me on Lunker Junkies, on Lunker Junkies, we're Lunker Junkies.